Hi, it's Jim. Summer is the time for reading, and I'd love it if you'd send me a note telling me what you're reading. You can do it via the website at technewsday.com or .ca and use the Contact Us link. If you're on LinkedIn and you know me, send me a note. I'm thinking about doing a summer reading show, and to start things off, why don't you consider getting a copy of my novel, Elissa, A Tale of Quantum Kisses. You can find it on Amazon. Search for Elissa, Elisa, and my name, Jim Love. For this month only, just to support this, it's on for 99 cents on Kindle. And if you like it, reviews are the best way to spread the word. And now, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Trump says semiconductor tariffs are coming soon. The Washington Post finds Meta's community notes system fails to stop misinformation. AWS deletes a developer's account and 10 years of data. And the UK's Online Safety Act, designed to protect children, may be putting everyone else at risk. Welcome to Hashtag Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. Donald Trump says his administration plans to impose new tariffs on semiconductors, and they could arrive as early as next week. In a Tuesday appearance on CNBC's Squawk Box, Trump offered no specifics, but the implications are already rippling through the industry. The U.S. produces about 10% of the world's chips, and while the 2022 Chips and Sciences Act set aside $52 billion to grow domestic manufacturing, the effort is far from complete. Intel, for instance, just delayed construction again on its new Ohio chip plant. Even Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing company, which has pledged to spend $100 billion on U.S. facilities, is still years away from meaningful output. So tariffs could raise costs for U.S. tech companies without a reliable local supply to fall back on. The move also comes amid uncertainty over AI chip export rules. The Trump administration formally revoked the Biden area controls in May, and those had taken a country-specific approach to limiting who could buy advanced AI chips. Trump's new AI action plan supports tighter export limits, but hasn't detailed how they'll work or when. With both tariffs and export controls in flux, U.S. hardware and AI firms are facing a new wave of regulatory uncertainty, right when chips are becoming the backbone of global AI competitiveness. A Washington Post investigation has found that Meta's new community notes system, designed to replace professional fact-checkers, is failing to reliably correct misinformation. After several months, a Post journalist submitted 65 fact-based notes correcting false or misleading posts on Facebook and Instagram. Only one of those notes was ever published. Many were rejected not because they were inaccurate, but because they couldn't achieve consensus from contributors with differing viewpoints, a core requirement of Meta's algorithm. That consensus rule means that if enough users simply disagree for any reason, the note gets buried. The Post found that even notes identifying AI deep fakes were blocked, while vague or opinion-based Google it comments were allowed through. Notes were also routinely suppressed if the content came from outside the U.S. or if the algorithm couldn't find enough cross-ideological agreement. Independent researchers interviewed by the Post said the system is not ready for prime time, and the journalist behind the experiment concluded that relying on crowdsourced volunteers to flag and correct misinformation just doesn't measure up to the speed or accuracy of trained fact-checkers. Meta is betting that community moderation can scale. A software engineer says Amazon Web Services permanently deleted his account. and a decade of personal and business data without warning. Now he's calling it a cover-up, and he's building a tool to help others leave AWS for good. The engineer says AWS accused him of fraud and erased everything tied to his account: S3 buckets, EC2 instances, and even credentials for off-site backups. All gone, with no suspension notice or chance to appeal. But after going public, he says an AWS insider told him what really happened. And that story was that an admin was testing a script to identify dormant or low-activity accounts. But because of a syntax mismatch between Ruby and Java, what should have been a harmless dry run ended up triggering a full deletion. Java's 1995-era parameter parsing turned a simulation into an extinction event. He believes other users may have been hit too, and that AWS's scripted responses are an attempt to deflect blame. Now he's guiding clients worth $400,000 a month in AWS billing to migrate to Oracle, Azure, and Google Cloud. He's also building a free tool to help others make their own exit. If even one scripting error can trigger a total loss, he says, then it's time to rethink cloud dependency from the ground up. The UK's Online Safety Act was supposed to make the internet safer, especially for children. But early enforcement suggests it's doing something very different, exposing users to new risks and pushing platforms towards censorship, overreach, and surveillance. At the heart of the issue is a requirement that platforms be able to verify their users' identities. That can mean uploading a selfie or even a photo ID, something many casual users, forum members, and vulnerable communities never expected to be forced to do. Privacy experts warn that creates a kind of honeypot effect, turning formerly anonymous spaces into archives of deeply personal and legally traceable data. It's already having a real-world consequence. Reddit has begun restricting access to certain subreddits for UK users, not because the content is illegal, but because the act creates so much liability risk that it's safer just to block the conversation altogether. And researchers warn that smaller forums, especially support groups or community-run apps, may shut down entirely rather than risk being fined. But perhaps the most alarming example comes from a recent hack at T, an app designed as a secure platform for women to share dating safety tips. Last week, it was hacked. The breach exposed 72,000 private images submitted by users who believed they were in a secure space. Under the new law, if those users had been required to verify their identity, the damage could be catastrophic. Critics also warn of a chilling effect on speech. Sensitive communities around sexuality, abuse, health, or political dissent may simply go silent. And there are global concerns too. Privacy advocates fear the UK law could become a model for other governments, spreading surveillance and censorship in the name of safety. Ofcom, the UK's regulator, said the law is being applied with balance. But researchers, developers, and users say the rules are already pushing platforms to over-comply, over-moderate, and collect more data than ever before, just to avoid fines. The goal of protecting children online is critical, but the backlash to the Online Safety Act shows how difficult it is to legislate simple solutions to complex problems. And as the breach reminded us, no information is ever perfectly safe. And that's our show. If you like what we're doing, please share the show with others. Give us a like or a comment on your favorite podcast app or site, We are found everywhere: Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and more. We're back on your Alexa speakers and hope to get back on Google Smart Speakers soon. We'd love to hear from you. You can reach me at technewsday.ca or .com. Just go to the Contact Us page, and while you're there, if you'd like to support what we're doing, please also go to the Donate tab and consider contributing the cost of a cup of coffee a month to support the show. And if you're watching this on YouTube, just leave a comment under the video, but your contributions would be gratefully accepted as well. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a wonderful Wednesday.